Welcome back to the show. This is the part of it where we take a look at national, local headlines, and the highlights. Pumped for the highlights. Let's run the national ones. Fabricio Werdum defeats Cain Velasquez via third-round submission, and I lose a bet to Jody Esquivel. Jody, how happy were you that you were right and I was wrong?
So happy that I stopped eating, because you're gonna have to take me to lunch. So I haven't been eating for like 3 weeks, you know.
It's gonna be a pricey meal. I don't know if they pay me enough to actually do something like that. The co-main event: Gilbert Melendez and Eddie Alvarez in a fight that I feel Eddie Alvarez desperately needed because he was brand new to the UFC just recently, and there he was. Look, with one eye, he earned a split decision. What did you think of that?
I thought that it was such a close fight, and you're right. He desperately needed that win.
Yeah, and so he's on the winning column there with the UFC. Of course, he was a big Bellator guy, and he came over. Nicholas Walters defeated Miguel Mariga Saturday night as well via wide unanimous decision to retain his WBA Super World Featherweight title. That's his fourth defense of the title. So a guy that people should really be looking at because he's a tough Jamaican in a division that's loaded with a lot of power, and he can actually jump back and forth or jump up since he really couldn't make this weight. He was close to losing his title. He did lose his title. Right. So what do you think of guys not being able to make weight and losing their title?
I don't think it's not any difference from guys or girls. You're a professional. That's what you do. You make weight. There's no surprise at the weigh-ins the day before your fight. It's never a surprise.
Yeah.
Like you gotta be there.
The same.
Yeah, absolutely.
Erislandy Lara and Delvin Rodriguez fought and put people to sleep. Erislandy Lara with the 120-107 lackluster contest victory in Chicago, Illinois. It's a little disappointing because Erislandy Lara, he fought Canelo. He was coming up through the ranks, beat Paul Williams, and he's a former champion, or he's still a champion technically. And he was putting people to sleep. I mean, kind of lackluster and kind of hard to see. And in other news, are you pumped about this? Andre Ward coming back?
I am so excited. I'm a big Andre Ward fan.
He's a very good technical boxer, and about 2 years ago, he was second behind Floyd Mayweather, a lot of us feel, as one of the pound-for-pound fighters. So his fight, as people might be surprised, is actually on BET. He has recently signed with Jay-Z's Rock Nation. So this is one of the first big boxing cards to take place on BET. He's facing the United Kingdom's Paul Smith, who's coming off 2 losses for the WBO title, as a matter of fact. But again, this is Ward's first fight since November 2013. It might be a network that you guys don't recognize for sports a lot, but it's good to see boxing on as many channels as possible.
Right, exactly. And we talked about having a layoff and how that sometimes is very beneficial for a fighter, and sometimes you can't make it back after that layoff. Yes. So I hope the best for him.
We'll see how he bounces back here, especially since he's at the trail end of his prime, a lot of his field. Let's go to the local headlines. I think you're pumped about this. I mean, Josh Torres is making his return. He'll be headlining a card. We don't know his opponent yet, but in Grants, New Mexico. Have you ever been to a boxing match in Grants?
I have not, but I'll definitely be there.
Yeah, it's a lot of people, don't really even know where Grants is. So it's only an hour drive, an hour and 15-minute drive from Albuquerque. So, make sure you guys go check them out. August 1st, we'll give you guys more information as that come along. But, we'll move on to the next topic that I think you might be excited about. Carl Frampton Jr., we mentioned to you guys last week, and Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. will be fighting the same day in El Paso at the Don Haskins Event Center. Carl Frampton will be fighting Alejandro Gonzalez Jr. on CBS. So that event starts at noon. Tickets run $25 to $50. Chavez Jr. will be fighting later that evening on Showtime. So 2 different events on 2 different networks in the city of El Paso. They can't share the wealth or what with us up here in New Mexico?
No, bring it up a little bit. But I'll be there. I thought it was the weekend of the 4th. I even called Jorge and was like, I'm just excited about this card. And El Paso is close enough to go and see these guys. Yeah,
definitely good to go, especially if you want to make a day trip out of it. Why not 9 hours of boxing on 2 pretty huge networks to check out? Hector Munoz, another guy here locally who will be fighting. He'll be taking on Omar Chavez, son of the legendary boxing champion Julio Cesar Chavez and brother of Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. That fight takes place Friday the 26th at Little Creek Casino Resort in Shelton, Washington. The fight will likely air on Showtime Extreme. So here he is, jumping in, probably late notice as he usually does, fighting on another big, televised card. So best of luck to our 2 local guys, and we'll get you guys more information as those fights come up, of course. Let's jump into the highlights. We have some pretty good ones this week. Highlights. Let's see if I can get through this without choking. Cain Velasquez, Fabricio Werdum for the heavyweight title of the world, and Jody's lunch.
They fought like my lunch was on the line.
They did fight like your lunch was on the line. Were you surprised here that Werdum was able to catch him with a lot of shots, especially ones up the middle? That's what surprised me a lot.
Anything up the middle, a little bit straighter, is gonna win every single time, no matter what.
And there's the guillotine choke, it was pretty deep, and Cain Velasquez, of course, loses by submission for the very first time in his career. Some UK boxing for you guys. I bet 99.9% of you didn't even see this. UK's Lee Haskins defeated Ryusoku Isawa, if I pronounce that right, for the IBF World Bantamweight title in Bristol. And here we have Haskins just giving it to Isawa here, of course, standing back up. The ref let it go there, and he seems all right to continue. And they just really didn't do much of. Look, I'm trying to hold there, so the referee said, enough is enough. They stop him. He wins his first world title.
Boxing with a standing 8 counts is pretty crazy.
More boxing. These guys, there wasn't no standing 8 count here. 2 really big men, Deontay Wilder and Eric Molina, going at it. Molina gave Deontay a pretty big match there in Alabama. Only, of course, Deontay Wilder from Alabama, but here we go. Look at this power. Hopefully,
oh my goodness,
we're able to see it. He just looks like a basketball player in the way he's actually shaped. So,
that is crazy.
Happy birthday, Alabama. Deontay Wilder wins one for you guys. Here you go. I want you to pay attention to this guy. Felix Verdejo from Puerto Rico. This guy is unbelievable. He's only 22 years old, 18-0 with 13 knockouts. He defeated Ivan Nahirov this weekend in New York.
Whoa.
I mean, look at the precision punching. He's just an exciting fighter to watch. One of the best prospects in boxing.
He looks a lot bigger than that other dude.
No, he totally does look a lot bigger than him, which makes you think, how long we'll be in this weight class for. And I just love the way he moves, just in and out, being very exciting throughout the ring. I love guys that are very limber and have power.
About him being young and finding that weight class, because he looks big for that weight class, but great if you can make the weight and perform.
Look at this
great.
check hook. It's just beautiful the way he's precise with those punches. So pretty soon a world title fight for that guy. He's not world champion yet, but give it 2 years and he'll eventually have a world title. Who do we got as guest?
Jordan Espinosa.
Yeah, Latrell Yee's MMA. So make sure you guys hang out after the break. We'll have Jordan here on set.